Alright kids, Jay Product Performance here again. Now we're on the valve body dyno. So, I always forget because there's a lot of gauges on this thing, and even though they're labeled, this valve body dyno was intended for everything and anything, so sometimes, you know, fourth is not really what you think it will be, or governor. So it always takes me a minute to kind of go through that. But, alright, here's where I got so far. I have not activated solenoids yet. We're going to do that in a minute. But let me show you. So we got this on. So we are in manual first, or just first, because it's manual valve body. We got oil and release. Usually this is your converter feed, but it may not be on this one. I know this sounds crazy, but these are kind of generic and don't work for every valve body, so it always takes me a bit to figure it out. So that's something. We got pressure there. Fourth, not sure what that is. I'm guessing it's overdrive apply. I'll figure this all out in a minute when I get the solenoids going. That says 2 governor. I'm guessing that's not 2 governor anymore because this thing here no longer sends oil to the governor. So forward clutch is forward clutch. So what I'm seeing here in first, we have oil to the forward clutch. Low reverse, I believe, is still low reverse. I'm sorry, low band is where that is tapped into, I believe. So that's got no oil, so no engine braking in first, which I'm pretty sure is normal. So I'm going to shift up in a second, watch the apply gauge, and there we go. That comes on, so that's intermediate clutch. Nothing else has changed. So that's in second gear. No engine braking, I believe. Don't believe the overdrive band is on, so there's no engine braking. So high reverse, I'm going to shift into third, and boom, that comes in. No other changes, so very simple. So second, first, second, third. Alright, simple stuff. Very simple little valve body. Alright, I've got to get power on these solenoids, and we will activate these bad boys and see what happens. So give me 1 minute, let me set up for that. Alrighty, so I've got power going to this solenoid back here. I believe this is going to be for overdrive. So normally what's going to happen is you're going to lose the oil at the forward clutch, and you lose oil in the release side of the overdrive servo. Alright. Oh, 1 second, my lead came off here. So alligator clips, alright. I just don't want that to touch anything. Okay. Let's fire this back up. Come on, doesn't want to turn on. Okay. So let's see, solenoid on. Yeah, so solenoid off. So I'm going to turn it on. Forward drops out. Good response. I don't see any other gauges coming off. I'm thinking For some reason, we're not getting oil here, but I kind of remember this on some similar ones. I don't know how to explain this, but sometimes the oil's rerouted, so I won't see it on the dyno, but I believe that's an issue. Let me rephrase. I don't believe that is an issue. Not 100% sure, but I think this is normal. So forward is dropping out. I think we're just not tapped into that. Okay, let me shut this off. So overdrive, I believe, works. Unless I'm wrong and we're not getting oil to here for some reason, I'm not sure. Again, I don't want to spend the time. I'm trying not to spend the time to learn everything about this valve body. Because a lot of times these aftermarket valve bodies, they work a little bit differently than what the OEM would, what you would expect to see, and it's not necessarily a problem, it's just something you have to get used to. So, alright, give me 1 second. I'm going to put my leads onto the other solenoid, which should be our Transbrake, and also get us into reverse. So, 1 second. Okay, I got the leads going to the other solenoid. I've shifted it into first. Let's see if our Transbrake works. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's see what happens here. Yeah, okay. Cool. Low reverse and reverse are on. Forward is on. I'm sorry, here we go, forward. That's on. So we are in Transbrake. I'm going to shut the Transbrake off. Quick release. Back on. Off. We'll just cycle this a few times. And seems like it responds good. Everything looks good there. Alright, good. Let's go to reverse. So that's 1. Gonna go to 2, 3, neutral, reverse. Alright. Nothing is on in reverse. Let's turn our solenoid on. There we go. See reverse and low and reverse clutch come on. The low and reverse is your band, the rear band, and the reverse clutch is the reverse clutch. Okay, solenoid off. Shift into reverse again. Off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on. Okay, good. I believe everything's working. Only thing I'm not sure about is on the overdrive shift. I feel like this fourth oil, I believe, is the overdrive servo apply. And when we're not in overdrive, there should be oil going to the release side of the servo that keeps that overdrive band off. And I'm not seeing anything that does that. Now, not necessarily an issue, but like I said, sometimes these things are routed differently. But I don't know, I just feel like I should be seeing something there. Does concern me a little bit. But I seem to remember this. It's been a long time since somebody's brought me one of these things, so I don't know. I'm deciding if I should really dig into that a little bit more or just get this transmission together and get it on the trans dyno and just see what the hell happens. I may do that. But again, you know, these things, the way they're labeled, sometimes I don't know where this oil is actually taken from, because fourth isn't always fourth, and governor is not always governor. I might do a quick little map out or something before I put this in the trans, just on that overdrive circuit. I may do that, or I may just try it. Customer has not indicated that there was a problem with overdrive, other than we did notice, if you remember, that overdrive band was kind of burnt up. But if the overdrive band is not being released, we would have a bound up third, you know, the trans would just bind up in third. I mean, the trans would, I believe, just lock up if that band was on and we shifted into third gear. It wouldn't be a problem in second. Trying to think, it might be a problem if it was on in first gear. I don't know. Now, I could have created a problem too. Maybe, who knows, maybe I put something together wrong. That's always a possibility, something. But valve body seems to be making normal pressure here. Everything seems to be working and reacting well, especially the solenoids. So the solenoids seem to be good. I'm going to say overall I'm real happy with what I'm seeing here. I think I may have found the problem with this reverse. I think it was as simple as that gasket. So, alright, we're going to end this video here. And I'm going to get the trans all back together. And I'm going to try to do a dyno, you know, get the trans together and get the trans on the dyno. And I will try to do a video on that. And we'll see if it works. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and if you would, subscribe, get the notifications, that way you'll see the next section of this and other things as well. I'm always going to be doing stuff like this, and we're going to be getting back to the car builds too, so I really want to get back on that stuff as well. Alright guys, thanks for watching.